Today we are talking about an experience we had yesterday. Yesterday we were out flying and ran into a park ranger who said, "You cannot fly here." So this video is all about that experience. Well, hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're having a fantastic day here. We are talking about where you can fly your drone at. So yesterday I was at the park and out flying my drone. I was testing out the different quick shots for you guys, trying to make a video for you guys, how well the droney and the helix and the circle and the rocket and all those work. There's been a question about how well the quick shots work since the firmware update. Some people have complained about not working as expected prior to the firmware update, and people asking me, are they working after the firmware update? So I was out trying to get some shots for you guys and had a park all to myself, except for two workers that were working there down at some cabins that are down at the far end. So I'm there flying my drone, working on doing the droney, testing those out. Hopefully you see a video soon about those. I saw one of the workers come driving my direction. I was the only person there, so I knew he was coming to talk to me, and it's probably not going to be good news when you have a park worker come to chat with you. He started walking my way, so I went ahead and landed my drone. I told him, hey, just a second, I'm going to land my drone and then I'll chat with you. I had actually seen him coming, so I was already was bringing it back in. So I went ahead and landed it on my palm. Proceeded to have a great chat with the guy. Unfortunately, he informed me that our county parks have a no drone policy. Unfortunately, talking with him, and I'd done a bunch of research before I'd started flying at the parks. I checked the website. Couldn't find anything manually looking around on the website. Didn't see anything about a policy about drones. I did a Google site search on their domain for the word drone. Couldn't find drone. I tried several other keywords. Couldn't find anything related to anything relating to drones at all. I actually have a friend who is a lieutenant in the park rangers for this park system. I'd reached out to him, asked about what their drone policy was, and he told me there's no drone policy. Anyways, I proceeded to have a nice conversation with this gentleman that was working at the park, and I was asking him, well, you know, I don't see anything on the website. I talked with this lieutenant. I looked at the entrance. I haven't seen any signs anywhere. He said, yeah, there's probably not one at this one, but this other park that I actually fly at quite a bit. You guys have probably seen some of my videos. Hopefully, if you haven't, check up here for some of my videos. It's the park. We've got quite a bit of open spaces. There's some playgrounds. There's a river right there with a little dam that diverts some water down the canal. So hopefully some of you guys have seen some of that. If you haven't, check up there, that card, for a link to some of those. But anyways, he proceeded to let me know that all the parks in their system are drone free. He told me, you know, I don't agree with it. He said, I don't understand it, but it is the policy. He said, you know, what you do after I leave is up to you, but it's his job just to inform me what the policy is. So I said, you know, that's fine. That's fine. You know, I'm not going to, you know, disobey what you're saying. You know, if you tell me it's not acceptable, then, you know, I'm not going to disobey it. It was actually a good experience having that contact with him, letting me know. Very friendly. He was on our side actually, but apparently the director of the park systems is very anti-drone. You know, and to a certain degree, you know, if you're talking about a packed park, you know, you're talking New York City with a Central Parkland, there's people everywhere. You know, there's a lot of parks where there's people everywhere. You know, I can understand it. And of course the FAA rules say you're not supposed to fly over people for safety reasons. So, you know, I don't know why these park directors have to go and make up their own rules. We went ahead and packed up our stuff and just headed out. So I'll probably reach out to the lieutenant, who's a friend of mine, to find out, you know, what his take on it is before trying to do it again. You know, I just want to find out what the actual policy is. It leads me to the conversation, you know, make sure you know where you're flying. So do your research. First off, check out legal issues, right, in terms of FAA. You don't want to mess with FAA. If you're a hobbyist, you know, don't be flying within 5 miles of an airport unless you contact that airport and let them know, and they give you some approval. If you're a licensed 107 pilot, you know, make sure you're following all their rules, and make sure that, you know, if you have a contact, if somebody comes to you and doesn't want you to fly in an area, if you're in your neighborhood and you have a neighbor that doesn't want you to fly over their house, or you're at a park and somebody comes and expresses their concern, you know, have a friendly conversation with them. Don't get upset with them. Don't be combative with them. You know, we want to have an open environment to be able to fly, and being friendly, and being responsive to their questions and their concerns is really the only way we can get past that. Try and educate them a little bit, let them know, how safe it is and that it's a fun hobby, and we're not out spying on people, and we're not trying to get anybody hurt or anything like that. We're just trying to have a fun, safe hobby to enjoy just like everybody else. Have a good conversation, have fun with it, be friendly, be nice, and don't fly somewhere that it's not legal to fly. Don't fly somewhere that's not morally responsible to fly. Don't fly somewhere that's not safe to fly. So those are really, my takeaways from it is those things, those three items. And be friendly, be open, and try and help teach them a little bit about the hobby. Maybe you'll get your first convert to the hobby, after you educate them a little bit. But if they're being combative, don't return that, right? Just say okay, and be off on your way. So anyways, hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'm interested in hearing what's your experiences with flying. Have you been contacted by anybody who didn't want you to fly in their area? Was it a park ranger? Was it a property owner? Was it just some bystander who didn't want you spying on them or something like that? So I'm interested in hearing your stories. Looking forward to some comments below. So let's have a conversation about it. Keep it respectful. Have a great day. Get out, do something, have fun. Don't just sit inside, be bored all day, do nothing. Get out. There's a great world out there. Enjoy it with your family, enjoy it with some friends. Take them with you. Make it a great day. All right. We'll see you later. Bye.